I think, of course, it's unprecedented in the sense that when we speak about Greenland, Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark and thereby also part of NATO. It is for the Greenlandic people to decide by themselves what kind of future they want. Do they want independence? Do they want to stay within the Kingdom of Denmark? Do they want to move closer to US? You can't have this kind of sending out signals. You need really to engage in a dialogue. And I'm pretty sure that in the longer run, you will be able to accommodate whatever interest US might have.
Mr. Freddy, thank you very much, sir, for speaking with ANI. Sir, I'll begin by asking you, Trump repeated over the weekend that the US needed Greenland for security reasons. It also prompted Danish Prime Minister to warn that any attack by the US would spell the end of NATO. How do you look at such developments, especially at a time, this development comes after a sitting president of a country has been captured by United States?
Yeah. I think, of course, it's unprecedented in the sense that when we speak about Greenland, Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark and thereby also part of NATO. So among the NATO or in the NATO family, now discussions whether they are genuine or not, there's a huge discussion about one NATO country perhaps taking over or purchasing another country within the NATO family. That's unprecedented. However, I think we also should be realistic about what is the core of this. Of course, US, where US geographically is placed, they have legitimate security interests and concerns. And of course, they should be addressed one way or another. And therefore, in that context, it's important really also to seek a dialogue. I don't think we will see a confrontation along the lines that you mentioned or has been mentioned by others. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right, sir. Please go on.
Yeah. So, sorry. So this kind of confrontation, I don't believe in it. I don't see it coming. So therefore, the only way forward is to build up this dialogue, perhaps not in the public, but more kind of back channel. That has to be done one way or another.
Mr. Freddy, also according to some reports, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has reassured lawmakers that President Trump prefers to negotiate a purchase of Greenland rather than pursue military action. Even those mixed signals persist. How credible and realistic do you find this emphasis on negotiations versus force?
I think whatever kind of challenge you are facing diplomatically or geostrategically, a dialogue is needed. And you can't have this kind of sending out signals. You need really to engage in a dialogue. And I'm pretty sure that in the longer run, you will be able to accommodate whatever interest the US might have, but in full respect of the sovereignty of Denmark and the Kingdom of Denmark. And as our Prime Minister has said repeatedly, it is for the Greenlandic people to decide by themselves what kind of future they want. Do they want independence? Do they want to stay within the Kingdom of Denmark? Do they want to move closer to US? That lies with the Greenlandic people themselves and nobody else.
So, what does it mean for future of NATO, and what legal and political ramifications would a US attempt to purchase Greenland have under international law, given that such sovereignty transfers between nations are rare in the modern era?
It goes without saying, you can discuss are we facing a crisis, unprecedented crisis with NATO? Some would say yes, others would say no. Obviously, we have a tension, and that tension has to be sorted out one way or another. But if we follow those who believe that this is a major crisis, if not the biggest crisis ever within the NATO framework, then of course the ramification will be huge. And I see here potentially a split between the European members of NATO and US. And I don't think that serves the interest of anyone, and not US, not Denmark, not NATO as such. But ramifications, of course. And how can you have this kind of family quarrel you should have really looked into it before and had this kind of dialogue back channel in order to secure that we were on the same page. Obviously, we're not on the same page. And if that continues with the escalation that we could potentially look into, then it will be very, very difficult and it will have, unfortunately, severe consequences for the NATO cooperation.
Mr. Freddy, given that Greenland has repeatedly signaled it is not for sale, how might this bolster or complicate Denmark's negotiating position with the US?
I mean, I think we have to distinct between Denmark and US. There's a bilateral cooperation that has been there for many, many years and so forth. And then you have Greenland, and Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. And it goes without, as our Prime Minister has said, it's up for the Greenlandic people to decide whatever path they would pick for their own future. But obviously, having this day-to-day, time-to-time, hour-to-hour discussion and a lot of new ideas being floated, threats, whatever you call it, that is not looking nice and is not adding to a more peaceful settlement or amicable settlement of that issue, unfortunately.